Police say a man entered the post office today pretending to mail a letter. As soon as the clerk proceeded to assist him, the woman was taken hostage on the 18th floor of this apartment complex. Police say the ex-boyfriend of the woman took... Thanks, Maura. The man accused of a road rage incident that took a man's life was back in court this morning. In the last month, several infants have been transported here to Le Bonheur after being left unattended by their mothers. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chalise Macklin. Earlier this morning, West Memphis utility workers were... In other news, federal funding will be awarded to the state for highway safety projects. The controversy surrounding the pyramid is still brewing as many citizens are starting to back the idea. Woman Lorraine Robinson recently received a lot of scrutiny for backing convicted felon Jerry Johnson. And finally tonight, countless numbers of people are preparing for Taste of the Town. Hundreds of vendors and candidates will share with viewers why they are the best candidate for the position. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Nearly 6 months after the tragic death of Deontay Farrow, his mother takes her fight to Washington to seek justice.
My situation is totally injustice for my son, you know, because 12-year-old getting shot and killed by a trained police officer.
Some say the decision made by the U.S. Justice Department could be considered a second injustice to Deborah Farrow. The department ruled that there was not an adequate amount of evidence to charge West Memphis police officer Eric Sammons with violating Farrow's civil rights.
We don't want the police officers back on the streets. We don't want them back on the streets.
The results of the investigation caused more damage to an outraged community. While some feel the controversial decision made by the U.S. Justice Department does not bring honor to Deontay Farrow, honor is gained by naming the street in which he was killed in his memory. The National Action Network, as well as the attorney in the Farrow case, are in pursuit of justice for Deontay Farrow's untimely death and to shed light on hate crimes. In West Memphis, Arkansas, Chalise Macklin. The immediate aftermath of a small plane crash at the Sun and Fun Fly-In was caught on tape. The plane went down just before 11:30 this morning in the 4400 block of Hamilton Road. One person is dead, and investigators aren't sure if a second person was on board.
There was a large fireball. It's obvious that there was a serious fire immediately upon it crashing.
Flames and dark smoke could be seen for miles as a small single-engine aircraft crashes near the Linder Regional Airport.
Sirens first, and my husband jumps up and said, "Oh my gosh, I think a plane crashed over there."
April Black was at her home less than a mile away and pulled out a video camera.
I was shaken up. It's just scary.
The wreckage was so bad, investigators were unable to determine if 1 or 2 people were on board.
There's nothing immediately clear as to what may have caused it, as you know, whether or not there was engine trouble or, you know, it hit something, or, you know, there was nothing in the air that happened. So it's just not, it's a mystery right now as far as why it went down.
The Lance Air Legacy aircraft was taken off from the Sun and Fun Fly-In on a flight heading west. Officials with the show had no information on the accident, but believe the plane took off with a full tank of gas.
This is a well-known experimental aircraft. It's amateur built. You can build it yourself, or you can buy one that's already, you know, put together.
The FAA is heading up the investigation. There's no telling exactly how long it will take to determine what caused the crash.
She joins us here in the studio. Tell us more about the story.
Thanks, Maura. The man accused of a road rage incident that took a man's life was back in court this morning. Brian Bischoff wants the freedom to visit a list of places while he's on house arrest, but the victim's mother doesn't like this idea. In court today, the judge ruled that Bischoff will only be allowed to visit work-related businesses. You might remember that Bischoff is accused of sideswiping a car on I-75 earlier this year. In a fit of rage, he killed 25-year-old Brian Ladelsky. The victim's mother is very upset and says the man should be behind bars.
He has no respect for life. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he had done when he ran my son off the road, and he continued on down the roadway.
That is Brian Bischoff right there. Linda Pitcher is pushing state legislators to make road rage a crime. She wants the law to deny bail to drivers accused in a road rage case. Back to you, Maura.
Thank you for that report. In other news tonight,
hundreds of churchgoers are without a place to worship tonight. Their building was destroyed by fire. It took 12 units, several tankers, and 40 firefighters to put the fire out. It is a difficult day for members of the Strong Tower Church of God.
I don't have words to explain and just I know we're gonna worship God no matter what.
Many churchgoers here in Dover have called this church home for the past 16 years.
It's completely destroyed. The only thing that's left of that is the shell, which is the outside. There's absolutely nothing left on the inside.
The cause of the fire is still unknown, but church leaders are hopeful about the future.
Church is not the building itself, but it's the congregation. Romans 8:28 says that everything works for good. So it's a loss, but it's also going to be a gain. I'm still faithful and trusting the Lord that everything's going to be okay.
Churchgoers say the fire is a painful loss, but church service will take place tomorrow without walls or a roof. The Strong Tower Church of God congregation was already building a new church before today's fire, but it won't be ready until at least the end of the year. Churchgoers will meet at 10 tomorrow for a Sunday service near the burned church. Back to you.